everyone, this is Ellington, and welcome back to Total War Rome 2. And we have ourselves today a 4 versus 4 on the settlement of Cyrene. Now, Cyrene is a settlement we do not do very often, specifically because it usually has a gigantic keep right where you're looking at right now, right up on that little ridge hill here, okay? So we decided to do the settlement on a medium size because we're kind of, a lot of people are getting tired of playing a lot of the same maps. This map is one that's usually avoided because of the keep on it, and that's just not always fun to play on. So we tried this map on a medium size, and I think it worked out pretty well. It's a pretty decent sized map for the fact that it's medium. This right here is right where the keep would be on the large size, but I mean, it's a pretty sizable map. The cap point is right in this little square over here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the armies. Now, unfortunately, this is the attacking view, so we can't quite see the defenders at the moment. But I can tell you, for the attackers as Seleucid, we have myself. Right next to me as Egypt is Bud's Rome. And then as Boii, we've got Pedro. And Carthage is being brought by Dave the Vassal. Now, defending this settlement is Liquid as Bactria, Armored Scarab as Pontus, Grey Wolf as Sparta, and Beast Master as Rome. So as you can see from this side, we've got a kind of combo approach here. I'm moving up here with two tortoises there, and then two tortoises next to it. But I've got 4 hillmen, I think 6 thorax swords, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 thorax swords, 2 royal peltis, 2 thorax pikemen, and then 1 Greek ballista. Next to me, Bud's here, as Egypt has, I believe, 1 unit of thorax pikes. I think 4 units of thorax swords. He's got some Galatian Royal Guard, 2 units. That's a very good unit. And then some Galatian swords to move his stuff. Then Boii has got a bunch of sword followers, a bunch of Celtic warriors. I think it's like, let's see, 3 Oathsworn. Wow. Bunch of Axe Warriors, actually. I think he went Axe Warriors to help with Rome with the armor piercing. And then once again, a bunch of sword followers there. Carthage has got a mixture of Libyan infantry, mercenary Iberian swords, African pikes, and Cretan archers, some Samnite warriors, and then 2 noble fighters. Alright, we'll go ahead and get this going now that, like I said, unfortunately, we can't quite tell who is, what the defenders have at the moment. So what our plan is, I'm going to be coming in here and here, then here and here. Going to be doing kind of a slow push, letting my ally... I'm probably the most exposed here. So I'm going to slow push here. Unfortunately, my spot, the reason I have to kind of take it a little slow is because I've got choke point, and honestly, that's kind of it. And then once you get past that, there's one here and here. So, if I go in way immediately, then I'm going to get, really just bogged down. Then what we found when we first played this game, or this map, is that on this side, right coming up this hill to where my artillery is, there is this path coming right here. But we found out that that path is not usable. So where I'm at is actually very, very secure. Really, the only way to get to me is here, or coming all the way around the back. And then look, I've got one tiny little spot that I have to hold if somebody wants to try and come at me with cavalry. But that means that my artillery on this spot is very, very protected. So it looks like Sparta is going to be the one defending against me here. Got seeing some Helot archers. Helot, I don't know. Helot, maybe. I don't speak Greek, I'm sorry. As you can see, they have got a ton of sharp stone beds here, which is always just, a pain in the butt. Yeah, I don't mind things like sharp stone beds myself, but man, going through them can be quite a hassle. Got a lot more set up here along the walls. Now we can see the Bactria is putting some Bactria and Hillman up on this gate. But what's happening is the ballistas from these towers are shooting them in the backs there. It looks like, so Bowie is going to be coming in here and here. What we really liked about this position was it gives us really good control over these points here, because we can provide support with archers over here, or we can provide support with archers over here, which is very handy because it basically means either way they defend there. We've got back shots on them, so that's the really handy thing for it. Got another Bactrian Hillman up here, and then as you can see, Carthage is moving his tortoises this way, and then got a couple towers coming up as well. Now Egypt is going to come in, and look, he's going to come in and hit these sides. Now while playing this, I didn't know exactly what they were doing. I was for the most part, dealing with my own stuff, so I wasn't really watching exactly where they went. So this will be fun to be able to see the other side of the battlefield that I didn't get to see before. As you can see, we got some 3 units of Hastati from Rome, and there was a Cretan archer, but I think it was another Hastati unit. Rome, I like seeing Rome come in every once in a while. It sucks that it doesn't get played as a whole lot, just because of how good it is. Look at this, the artillery is just getting really good shots over here from Egypt here. Now, I have not really shot any of my artillery yet. I'm really holding on to it, just because I have range to here. So I have a lot of map control with my artillery, which is very handy. Oh, it's a legionary cohort, and then there were 2 other units there. As you can see, more units starting to pop up from the defenders. Got 2 thorax swords, some thorough spears. Really good thing to do here. Setting up one line here, but with the thorough spears behind, because then the thorough spears can shoot over, or they can shoot onto the walls when people get onto them. Now look at this. Pontus has got a sally out coming here. Celtic warriors, 3 units of Celtic warriors, 4 units of Celtic warriors. There's a lot of Celtic warriors there. What he's trying to do, he's trying to engage Carthage here in range of the Eastern archers up on the wall, so that he can shoot down into that combat and help just kill off people. Got Celtic warriors coming from Bowie, getting up on the wall, going after the Bactrian Hillman up there. Then as you can see, Bowie is tearing down these 2 sections here. Be very careful with your tortoises. You cannot have 2 tortoises right next to each other tearing down a wall, because if this tortoise had been right next to this when this one destroyed the wall, this tortoise would glitch out and you wouldn't be able to use it anymore. So just be very careful that you can move it up and destroy this other section. You just have to wait until this one is done. Now on my side, I am moving up, and I'm going to tortoise here, and I'm going to tortoise right in here. Now something very annoying happens here. I'll show you once it happens. That 62%, you can see what's going to happen. Look how small this is. And one more hit and it'll be down. And there it is. Look how useless that is. Completely and totally pointless. I hate when that happens. But it doesn't really matter for me because this tortoise is going to come in right next to it, so it won't be a big deal. We didn't destroy, or we decided to destroy over here so that we left this section wall up, just so that if we needed to, we could use this staircase from the tower. Now, it's annoying. This is annoying enough, but what's really annoying is when it happens here, because usually it happens right next to these towers if you get too close, but occasionally it does happen in the middle of the wall. But once again, it's not too big of a deal since I have another tortoise just going to come in and break down another wall there. As you can see, Egypt has got his tortoises coming up, hitting. He's got 93% on this, and then he's going to bust down a ton of this wall here. He's got 3 tortoises he's putting up. And now Boei is in the combat, or in the city here, going up against a Bactrian Hillman, controlling this tower. Looks like 2 sword follower units with a big group of backup. Got 2 units of Iberian swords and a bunch of sword followers from Boei. So what they decided to do on this side, because of this, they basically just decided, you know what, we don't need to go there. Why? Now we have a big breach. Why don't we focus our attention here and just avoid this? Because, I mean, it's just going to be useless losses. Now look at this. We got a thorax sword here, but completely and totally isolated. He's being very smart. He's following it back because otherwise these guys were going to get in right around their backs. And honestly, those thorax swords are going to lose to those sword followers, so it's a good thing he's kind of following that back anyways. Got the thorough spears still doing some, I thought they were, oh, it must have just been the archers. More sword followers just trying to get their way through the sharp stone beds. And then we have full control on this entire corner here, with the units coming this way and units coming this way. Now, after tearing down these walls here, I just fell my stuff back because I was doing the slow push. There was no point in me going in yet. So I just fell my men back and just kind of set up my perimeter right outside the tower range here. Because once they are pushing hardcore into this side, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to get as much going here that will basically force more units to have to go this way so that this choke-pointed area becomes a little less defended. A lot of archers set up. We've got Roman Syrian archers, some Bactrian mercenary Syrians. I'm kind of surprised that the thorax sword was left in combat here. He's still really exposed. And I think what the Iberian swords might be... No, I don't think he's going there. And it's probably a good idea because he would just get shot in the back by the thorough spears. The thorough spears back here getting some kills. 19, 11. And I think this thorax sword's just waiting to go into combat. And over here, once again, you can see we're kind of slowly coming in. These are the 2 factions here that are the strong links. Rome and Sparta, which is in this spot here. They are the really tanky units. Rome is very, very good. So we don't want to hard push them because they'll just tear us up. So we're going to push on the slightly weaker links, which are Pontus and Bactria. Got the sword followers from Boei, 66 kills and 154 kills. Wow. I mean, he really did tear up that thorax sword. Then we got Iberian swords coming up. What's cool about the Iberian swords, kind of like the thorough spears, they can focus what they're going to throw their jabbies at. A lot of archer fire hitting these sword followers on the wall. Then it looks like Egypt and some of Boei are starting to push over into this direction. Got some thorax swords fighting some Hastati on the wall. And then got a kill box set up here. Got Hastati to throw and Hastati to throw. And down here you've got archer fire. Just like, man, just a great side shot there. Now you can see a little bit of Sparta here. Some Spartan hoplites. A lot of Rome over here too. Legionary cohort, Legionary cohort. There's some, I think, the Spartan pikes, yeah. More Legionary cohort, and then a General's bodyguard. Syrian archers. And the hoplite unit just disappeared from sight. Got the artillery starting to fire in, trying to get shots down over on the archers here. Got a nice one right there, the Blerick slingers. the kind of an awkward angle, but I was trying to get some support down on these archers and maybe force him to fall them back for fear of casualties. You can see more coming in, but it's just such a long range and an awkward angle. I've got my artillery kind of faced in mostly in the direction of the point, but the angle is like this, is kind of where the cone goes. You can kind of, I think, show you, yeah. You can kind of see it, there's the line. But this is the kind of corner of my range, is right in this box here. Thorax Sword's really just not going into the combat with this Stati. They don't need to, especially with the Sword Followers coming in. The Sword Followers will trade probably a little better. Like, Stati obviously aren't as good as Thorax Swords, but the Sword Followers will really chew through them pretty quickly. So, the couple of units over here ended up losing. You can see a lot of green bodies over here, so good defense setup over on this side. Still trying to get some more kills. Looks like I got a couple kills on the archers here. You can see there is a hidden one there. Up to 22, not bad for, 3 volleys, I think. And as you can see, I am starting to move up my forces, moving archers up here to help support against the back lines here, get rid of some of these Helot archers, which will really pretty much put 7 elite archers down on this area, which is really nice. Again, Pontus just kind of waiting, basically preventing Carthage from attacking into this corner. And then once again, like, we're not pushing this area because we don't need to yet. They've got a strong defense, got a bunch of Thorax Swords and Thorough Spears, so a lot of Javies. Where we do have a lot of control is right up here. So this is where we're putting a lot of our efforts into, is right into this area here. Because we have very, very good angles of fire against Rome. Some Spartan hoplites here. Getting ready to move in my hillmen first to use a bunch of their Javies. That is one nice thing with Sparta, is Sparta really only has one unit that has javelins, and that's the Perioikoi hoplites, which I don't see any here. But these hoplites, I can sit there and throw at him, but he can't sit there and throw at me. More Spartan hoplites here with the Cretan archer back, and then his two other Cretan archers over here. A lot of archer fire coming in on the Spartan Cretan archers. I think I'm trying to get my artillery in, but once again, it just kind of an odd angle here. So I'm just going to set up here, and I'm going to start throwing Javies into the Spartan hoplites here. Just setting up and just throwing. I've got my reinforcements here. I've got 2 Thorax Swords, 1 Thorax Sword, and then even some Axe Warriors to help eat through the Spartan hoplites' armor. Now, Egypt is making pretty good progress here. Well, kind of, I guess. Armored Legionaries in here with 130 kills. Now we got another push from Boei. Some Sword Followers coming in. And he's not quite supported at the moment. I guess as Bactria, what I would do is I'd come in here, set up a side shot, and just shoot into the back of those Sword Followers. Now Rome is starting to lose some units here. Armored Legionaries, and then I think just a standard Legionary there. Now here comes the Axe Warriors coming in on the Spartan hoplites. They'll be able to chew through that armor. Now I got my Thorax Sword back in the back here. Getting ready. Once these guys are done throwing their Javies, they'll be able to charge in to the Spartan hoplites. There we go. Some more units here. Another Sword Follower coming in here, and then I believe two. So 1 Samnite Warrior and 1 Iberian Sword. Mercenary Samnite Warriors have a lot of armor. Now, this is a really good job by Pontus. Up on the wall, he's got a great back shot on these units. So nicely done there. I think all those 30 kills came from that one spot. Still just taking some javi tosses. Once again, Axe Warrior is going to throw their javies as well. We've done quite a bit of damage here. 124 down, left, 142 left. Now this side, 121 because they could just get 2 units of javies. And Sparta is trying to set up his archers to focus at mine, but I think he's just having some troubles with this area. It's just not offering very good angles for him. Now they are focusing my Hillman back here, which I'm okay with. It's a cheap unit. It's there as cannon fodder. And then now I've got a Thorax Sword moving in. Big push coming here. Got the Sword Followers pushing into these Thorax Swords. What I would probably do at this point, this Thorough Spear, I'd probably pull it out and put that Thorax Sword into the combat. The Thorough Spears, sure, like if you need them to hold for a sec, that's fine. But I'd go ahead and trade out for my killer. Which Thorough Spears, they're really not going to kill that much in melee combat. So yeah, the Cretan Archers, I think, are just having a lot of trouble getting angles. And here, I just don't really need to engage at the moment. There's just no real point. I've got javelins to use. So I'm just going to sit here and use them. Now, what is a little scary is there is a Legionary cohort coming up. And my guys here are not going to do well against that. But he doesn't look like he's going to engage that yet. More Axe Warriors come, the Axe Warriors just doing a really good job chewing through the hoplites. My Hillman just waiting to go in behind. And I'm trying to duke it out. This one archer unit is kicking my butt over here. I was having the same issue that he was having, just in a different spot. And I just couldn't get a good angle on him. You'd hit click to fire and the archers would just run around. Yeah, so they pulled off on this side because Pontus was very, very smart and brought in his bronze shield pikes, which at the moment, it looks like Carthage is shooting. Okay, so he's not shooting the pikes because he's duking it out with the Bactrian archers, which is good job from Bactria. Oh, and look at this. Pontus coming in with the Eastern archers now. So Carthage has got to be real careful here. He is outmatched with archers at the moment, so he's got a 4 versus 3, but wait. So some of these archers aren't shooting Carthage's archers, they're shooting the sword followers on the wall. So if Carthage keeps playing this, he could actually probably do really well here. Now look at this, the really nice shot. The archer duel going between the Egyptians and the Romans here. And there's the bronze, is that a second unit? Yep, second unit of bronze shield pikes there. Sparta pulling off his archers because he was just losing too many here. And look at this, getting really thin here. The Spartan hoplites down to 23 men. He does bring us a Perioquai spears, but now he kind of adjusts them a little bit. I don't know exactly how this happened. I'm assuming it's just a pathing issue, but he leaves this exposed. As soon as this breaks, look at that. So the unit is shattered now, and I'm able to just go right into the archers. So just an unfortunate misclick there, I think, by Sparta. Now over this side, we've got some Samnite warriors just staring over here at the Bactrians. Just like, hey, can we stop fighting, guys? And still Egypt is just chewing through here. Now that we have the archer advantage, he can focus his pikes down into Rome. That is the biggest downside to Rome, is that they just can't deal with the pikes. Now, if they lose the archer fight, they can. Their javies can do a lot, that's for sure, but eventually they just do end up losing. So as you can see, the battle line here is no longer that nice line. Now it is just a mess. When we were talking after this battle, I guess he was microing in another spot, and that's why he didn't see this happen. But it left him very exposed over here. Still having a stare off here. And Rome is just throwing units into this. And these are really good side shots coming in from Boii. Got some good archers. shots coming into those pikes. Oh, a big push. Look at that. The defenders pushed into the into the attackers here. I think bring it. Yep. Yeah, he's got his pikes in there, the bronze shields. Look at that, man. Look at, so Rome falling back away from this staircase. But yeah, such a huge push coming in this way. A lot of archers back in the backfield trying to focus in on the bronze shield pikes, which have not lost that much. But then we also have some mercenary naked swords that are also probably going to get shot here. They're very, very vulnerable. But a very nice push by the defenders. Once again, I didn't get to see a lot of this, so this is really fun to watch. Now, if I was Pontus, I think at this point, it's probably fine to just bring these units back. I don't think there's a point in defending that way anymore. You could probably use those units in combat here pretty soon. I got my thorax swords coming into combat now, finally getting my mid-tier infantry in, because at this point all I've used is my low-tier hillmen, so I haven't really even lost any of my big guys right at the moment, including I still have both of my Royal Peltas back here as well as my pikes, so I'm looking pretty good at this point. Now I made a boo-boo. I think I forgot to turn off formation attack on that thorax sword over there. Man, this is actually getting a little scary on this side. This is a really nice push coming from the defenders. Look at that. Very cool. Also got the Libyan infantry. Still, the archers are duking it out. They're starting to fire into the mercenary naked swords there. Now a big retreat from Rome and Sparta, leaving this spot because Rome was getting pushed so hard on this side by the pikes. And if Sparta didn't leave, he was going to have his entire back way exposed to the Egyptians and Boii over here. Then on this side, you can see we've started to take control. Now, we made a big boo-boo here. At the moment, Pontus is completely not defending this. And he had set up some fireballs here. And so at the moment, Pedro came up and just decided to unleash the fireballs. The issue with that is, I'll show you in a little bit. You can see we have an open avenue at the moment. Thorax swords getting set up. We're starting to get set up to start pushing down these staircases now. Now Rome ended up pushing back up the staircase here. Legionary cohort and armored legionaries coming into combat with some Oathsworn and Galatian Royal Guard. So the Oathsworn and Galatian Royal Guard are going to do really good. But those are some tough Roman units. That's a cool line there. Now, this push over here just kind of looks like it's run out of steam, but look what they have trampled through. All these Carthaginians just wiped out by this wave of Bactrians. But the side broke here and is trying to loop in on the back of the thorax swords. It looks like Bactria is going to be able to fall them back before they got flanked, so he got out of that in the nick of time. Once again, I think by this point, you're losing here, you're losing here, so I think you just need to bring these guys back in, you know? Now, here was the issue that I was talking about, destroying those fireballs. We started to push down this hill, but Pontus saw that and saw the fireballs were gone, so he just moved a unit and trapped us. Trapped us at the bottom of that hill with Javi support and tower support, when with those fireballs in that spot, he could not hold this because we would have just dropped the fireballs right into that unit. So that was a boo-boo on our part. At this point, I'm just getting my units into the settlement now. My gen, I think I kind of forgot about him. Egypt, once again, just consolidating forces, getting everything in, ready to push. Looks like Carthage has quite a bit left as well. I mean, he's got a good 12 units left here. Boei is getting pretty low. He's at, I think, 6 or 7. Egypt looks pretty healthy, and I look pretty healthy. But I mean, so does Sparta. Rome looks pretty good. Pontus has barely been touched, but I mean, Pontus, I think, is one of the ones that we weren't as worried about. He did end up bringing the Celtic warriors in. Good job. He's going to take the 2 units, and he looks like he's going to go 1 and 1 and surround that sword follower while his archers shoot it down. Another bit. So the push over here got some reinforcements, some thorax pikes and some Pontic swords coming to back up the thorax pikes and thorax swords here. Rome still putting stuff in here. Now these armored legionaries are doing very well, and the legionary cohort is not doing great. Only 29 kills at the moment, and he's at 85 men. Or wait, hold on. 60. So we just pulled off of this. At the moment, there's really no point in going into this unit, and because he'll just put another, or there is still a unit here we can't see that'll just javvy into me, and we just weren't going to do that. I am moving a tower. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here and land and take a unit down that wall and engage the one on the wall so I can then push down the hill. We also pushed units down this way. Still getting some archer shots and javvy throws. Push over here, the thorax pike, 74 kills, and this one's only at 8. And getting shot really hard by the Boei Celtic bows. I think, well, that Carthage still has ammo, so I'm not 100% sure why he's not shooting into these guys. It looks like Egypt is shooting over there, though. Oh, we got African pikes versus thorax pikes. Melee even. The Pontic sword supporting it. They ended up winning on the top of this staircase, but there are still units down at the bottom. And here, once again, just pausing, taking our time. Really no reason to just throw everything in. You can see the hillmen are about to land on the wall now. Had just enough room to get into it. I think I was also going to take the thorax swords and put them on the wall as well. Let's see, thorax swords. Oh, I was using my javies, so I had traded out some guys. Now this push, it has been defeated. Looks like the thorax pikes from Pontus ended up breaking, or from Bactria ended up breaking. The African pike is still alive, 138 kills. And here's an Oathsworn, 150 men, and already has 165 kills on him. And Pontus is just trying to get this unit out, no reason to waste it. And it is getting shot to hell, man. 69 men, 49 kills. Pontus tried to bring his Eastern Archers up, but is, I think, losing to the Cretans. They're just already weak. So I took my thorax swords and I pushed them down into this combat because I was hoping to bring in my pikes down onto the flat area here so that my pikes can engage not on the stairs. And here the hillmen are going down, getting ready to go down that staircase. Thorax swords getting onto the wall now. Engaging down at the bottom of the hill with some Boei units. Once again, just trying to keep this flat area at the bottom of the staircase open so that the pikes can get down there and set up. And now a push coming from Carthage. Iberian swords going into the naked swords. Iberian swords are 95 kills. The nakeds are at 67, but the Iberians just broke. Libyan infantry and Libyan infantry. A lot of Libyan infantry. We'll keep it at that. Galatian swords and looks like maybe a Celtic bow out of ammo. All right, so looks like Egypt is the one going to bring his pikes up. And then I've got my archers at the top of this hill as well, getting ready to counter out either Rome's archers or Pontus's archers. Now that the thorax pikes are going in, we had to make sure that we kept the archer advantage. The one we're worried about, or like the ones we're worried about, are these guys right here, because it's almost too far. It's one of those issues where it's like it tells you have the range, but then when you click, they go running off into space. See? Then Boei put his Oath Sworn into the Legionary cohort, and they're just going to eat right through that. Then it looks like Pontus still controls this area, but I think that maybe Egypt is thinking about possibly burning the gate. A big defensive line from Rome here, a lot of legionary cohorts. My archers are starting to get some shots in on the Romans now, which is really good. That's what we needed to happen. Then the Egyptian pikes are in combat. I don't know what the hell is happening. They're going all wonky. But they are wavering and about to run away because they're just down to 25 men. So, pushing back in another thorax sword to help hold on to this spot. Still waiting on this side. Once again, just no point in engaging something that is just going to lose troops unnecessarily. He's got multiple units here ready to hold this one choke point, and I will take heavy, heavy losses if I go down that. So, and really, we've got good pushes happening other places, so there's really no point in going after spots that potentially would be a waste of units. The Oath Sworn up to 160 kills, and now we got some mercenary noble fighters going to come in. So that's a nasty combination, noble fighters and Oath Sworn. I like the sharp contrast between the reds and the green and blues. A cool fight. All right, so finally we got an engagement over here. The Legionary cohort, Pontic swords, and Legionary cohorts going up against the African pikes, noble fighters, and Libyan infantry. This line is very, very long and very, very thin. They really need something to get over there and help support it. Sword followers coming down off the wall and fighting the Celtic warriors. Now we got a citizen cav and Bactrian Royal Guard. Yeah, here's some more Roman infantry, but man, it's a little late. You know, this side of the formation here is getting really, really, really thin. Those pikes are just forcing their way through, and eventually they're going to be able to pull through and do that. But I think he might be bringing his gen in to cover that opening. Got a lot of axe warriors coming down into Spartan hoplites, along with some thorax swords. Yep, lots of thorax swords there. I re-engaged on the bottom of this hill now because I have 2 units fighting the Pontic swords on the walls. So I can keep them engaged so they don't keep javying this unit in the back, or in the side. Head, side, back, whatever you want to call it. Now this archer, 150 kills, I think it's out of ammo. I think at this point most of my archers are out of ammo. Brought one of my Royal Peltists down this way to start doing some damage into the units. And This is funny. We got the Axe Warriors here, and the Spartan Hoplites. So Pedro activated the fireballs in the middle of the Spartan Hoplites. I mean, he loses men here, but the Axe Warriors are far cheaper than the Spartan Hoplites are, so that was just kind of amusing when I saw that. Using my Royal Peltis to get some shots in with their Javies, and then moving into this combat. Pedro's honestly just trying to get rid of these fireballs so that they're not a nuisance to us anymore. Now, Buds brought his Egyptian, the Ptolemaic cavalry, and he is just getting some epic charges down this hill into the Pontic sword down at the bottom. Jen has, 7 kills at the moment, but, each charge he goes down, he's probably going to get more than that. Oh, man, look at that. Another 12 kills in that charge. Now, the units on the wall here are starting to get really low, so I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hold on to that unit up there. I took my Royal Peltis and I brought it in a thin column in the angle here, and now I'm going to start attacking into the side. But I got to be careful because the unit that was holding the front broke, so I need to get a unit into combat there, otherwise they are going to be cut off. Alright, so we kind of have a line reformed over this way. Bactria is going to go into combat with the front of the pikes, while it looks like it's got a unit on the sides of it as well. But as you can see, it's getting very, very thin over here. That line is very long, and Carthage and Boii are really pushing very well through there. Looks like they put one of their pikes down this alleyway, so they ended up having to pull back. But now Boii is sending in some Oathsworn to maybe get some shots off into those pikes. I pulled the Royal Peltis off of that area because I did not want them to get flanked the way they were or cut off. $67 kills, 79 kills, and 154 kills. Oh, and so Sparta put one of his pikes over on this side. It was a nice move because my only choice of dealing with that is my pike, and going down this hill into another pike is just not a fun thing. I've got a couple archers here with a little bit of ammo, so they might be able to do some damage to it. But we'll see how much they can really get done with it. The center here, and once again, another issue. Now I've got pikes stuck on me on 2 different choke points, and I don't have the archers to deal with both of them. I do still have both of my pikes. Then we've got a noble fighter from Carthage as well over here. Now, Carthage has sent some units along the walls, or I think maybe just through this gap, and is starting to take this gate. And now Boii's Jen is getting into combat with some citizen cavalry. They got 22 kills. The Oathsworn Jen is at 109 or 103, 194. Bronze Shield Pike's pulling back, and then we've got a Legionary cohort just holding this alleyway. Yeah, Rome is just full. Rome and just about everybody, they're falling back as much as they possibly can, just to consolidate their forces. Sparta still has quite a bit left, and then Pontus has some left as well. Pike's getting shot by what I've got left in archers. And then Pontus ended up moving a unit up the hill to engage my units. Spartan Pike's setting up here. Got my thorax swords there. Oh, look at the arty fire coming in. 52 kills on that artillery. Yeah, and he said, nope, I'm out of that. The Roman gens over here. Now the pikes are going to push into my units, which is a good idea I can't do anything about it, so I have to keep falling away from them. There's there's my pike. All right, so we got some pike v pike here. You ready for the most boring, like, head-to-head fight you've ever seen? Pretty even. Spartan pikes 145 and thorax pikes at 140. But the Spartan pikes, we do have some Javi fire coming in, so that does help. There's some heroes of Sparta, Spartan hoplites, Spartan hoplites. Roman Gen is about to break. Now army losses are kicking in. The one person who's not going to worry too much about that is going to be Sparta. They have such good morale. Oh, and that was a bad Artie. That Artie hit a lot of friendlies there. Yeah, but I think you guys can see this is pretty much going to be the end of this battle. At this point, it's just like breaking through the final little spots, finishing you guys off. Got the Egyptian Cav, Citizen Cav, charging into the back of the Spartan pikes. My pike at 67 kills. And then I think did he pull away the pike or did it just die? I think the pike might have just died. But here you can see army losses kicking in. Oh, there, the Spartan pikes are there. They went into combat. Ooh, 2 kills. 140 on the Pontic swords. Nicely done with them. Thorax sword, 213. I'll take that. Pontic sword, Jen looks like he's ended up, he's shaken from army losses at 120 men with 84 kills. And then the tough one's going to be the Royal Spartans. 76 base morale, that's going to be tough. What we need to try and do is try to get in around, or get in around here, something like that. Maybe get my Gen, take him, and charge in the back, yep. Just to finish off these units. Oh, look at that. The Agima Cav for Seleucid is one of my favorite Cav units. Alright, and that is going to be the battle. Alright, let's go look at some kills here. Alright, so first off, we'll go with Dave with 2,900 kills. Slinger's doing fantastic, 326 kills. His archers all did very well. 175, 145, 197 on the Spartan Pike. His Libyan infantry, look at that, 331 kills, 177, 286 even. And then his noble fighters getting 274 and then 64, although look how healthy that one is. That one had a lot of kills left in him. Pedro with 258 kills on his Gen. His bows actually did very well for bows that are typically not considered very good. 111, 184, 156. His active warriors did really well as well. 205, 131, 147. 313 on his other Oathsworn. 475 on the other one. And then his sword followers all did really well. 160, 170, 135. Myself with 1,733 kills, but with, 7 kills on my Gen. But look, he got into combat at the very end. My median Cav really didn't even get into combat. My archers did pretty well. 137, 135, 172. Hillman even did pretty well. 108 on that one. My Royal Peltas didn't get a lot of kills because they didn't get into a lot of combat. Most of my guys who went into combat were my cheap stuff and my medium infantry. Pikes with 67. I look at the thorax swords. 242, 188, 115. I think anybody using thorax swords is going to be happy with those kinds of kills with them. Buds here, 49 with his Gen. 217 on his artillery. He had really good angles there. 236, 173, 149 on his archers, 152 on his Nubian. Then his 2 Galatian Royal Guards, 159 and 266. And then his pikes did 159, pretty good. Then his swords, 134, 104. And look, he got a Galatian sword, 227, and they were at half strength. Now on the defender side, Liquid, 97 kills on the gen. His archers did decent, 75, 50, 130. Pikes did okay, 117, and then some good performance from his archers, from his swords, 118, 106. And then even with his throw spears, 95, 102. Armored with Pontus, 96 on the gen. Archers did okay. Some of them I think just got focused down, 104 and 83. Pikes with 120 and 63. His Celtic Warriors did pretty well, 153, 164. Then Pontic Swords, 164 and 159. Grey Wolf, see, 174 on his best archer. And man, I think a lot of his stuff ended up just breaking, and that's rough. It's not a lot of kills, unfortunately. Beastmaster with 1,800 kills. His archers all did really well, 122, 117. His armored legionaries 186, 185, and 146. And then his legionary cohorts all did really well, 163, 145, 101. Well, that is going to be the battle. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you guys did, hit that like button. And I'd love to see your comments in the comment section. And if you guys are new to the channel, please go hit that subscribe button. And we will love to see you guys next time.